So if you actually get the thread stuck in device driver error, it doesn't mean there's literally a thread stuck in your computer. Even if it's stuck in the fans and it detects a fan stop, it's not going to say thread stuck in device driver. The thread that's being referred to is basically a piece of the driver program for a device that's part of your computer. Most likely the graphics card in the case of the thread stuck error. Alright, so one thing to try in terms of the thread stuck in device driver error, it's actually been running pretty stable on the settings that I have now. I overclocked it a little bit for crypto mining, but say you've just been overclocking it and now you're starting to get that message. Well, probably try dialing back the overclock. In fact, even if you've been doing that for a while and it's worked okay, but now you're getting an error or something, probably the first thing to try would be to either go back to normal speed in overclock if you're doing that, assuming your system supports that, or at least dial it back a little bit. So that's a little kind of a gray area. It's like hardware/software kind of thing. But also look to see if there's anything stopping. If you're running Windows 10, it's going to automatically update most things. But look and see if it's like, if there's anything preventing Windows 10 from updating, then it would say there's an error up here. So other than that, go to Device Manager. Devices and printers. Device. Oh wow, I can see what brand of monitor I'm using. Uh-oh, the computers are starting to get pretty smart. They might take over the world. Moo ha 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 ha. So you'll probably just end up having to go into Device Manager. And it's a little, in Windows 10, some of the more advanced settings are kind of hidden away so that someone who doesn't know what they're doing probably won't stumble on them in the first place and know they're there. Yeah. Be under display adapters. If you go into properties, it should say if there's a problem of some kind that's been causing errors. Now, if you've just updated it, and now it's having a problem, there'll be a rollback driver option. Details, events, and device install requested, device migrated. Not sure exactly what that means. I have no idea what any of this is about, so I'm not going to touch anything in there. Has problem, false. So that's a good sign. Problem code, if you go in there. My computer is working properly, so all zeros under problem code is probably a good thing. Some of this is just information that can't actually be changed. I'm not going to try changing anything that I don't know what it does, so that I don't have to go through the trouble of reinstalling everything if I mess something up. Yeah. So it'll generally say under device status if there's some kind of problem. I know one time I had an issue with not this computer, but a laptop one time. When I tried to install the drivers for an external USB plugin that would basically output video on a VGA or whatever, when I installed it, it somehow had a conflict with the NVIDIA driver or something. It didn't blue screen or go black or anything like that, but the resolution was messed up and most of the settings were missing from control panel or whatever. So I couldn't change the resolution back to what it was. Like, some of the options had gone away. When I came under Device Manager, it said there's a problem. So I think what I had to do is basically download a new driver. Windows will fall back onto its own built-in basic function in most cases if the video card's like dedicated driver software isn't working properly. Windows has a fallback so you can still see what you're doing, because that would be kind of you'd be kind of stuck up a creek without a paddle if it didn't. So anyway, yeah, so if there isn't an update available for your driver, try to make a connection between anything software-wise that might have changed. So, like, did you install any new programs? Is anything more graphics card intensive than other programs? Did you overclock the computer and then this started happening? It can be a little confusing because some things auto-update and others do not. So those things can kind of argue with one another if one thing gets updated before another. So if a driver update doesn't fix the problem or there isn't one available, it might be a good idea to try reinstalling the drivers that are related to whatever device is showing a problem code, if any. It would usually be the graphics card driver. I suppose in theory it may also mean the thread stuck in device driver is probably for a critical process, like something controlling the video card again, but something like the hard drive controller could be equally critical, so for obvious reasons. If your motherboard or your graphics card, assuming you bought them separately, came with either a CD or a USB drive that included the driver software in it, then just reinstall the drivers from that. If you don't have that, or maybe it came with a CD but you didn't put a CD drive in, or you mistook the CD drive for a cup holder and broke the tray or spilled coffee in it or something, you're not completely out of luck. You could download the drivers online, and since you're watching this YouTube video, you obviously have internet, so anyway.